Concord failed.
What's going on? Why don't they like it? We spent $250 million on this.
And we've all been hitting the gritty on its corpse. And I could be hitting the gritty on its corpse like the rest of the internet. So I decided to take some time to clean the corpse parts of my shoe and see one reason it failed. There are a lot of reasons it failed, but one big one. And that reason is quite simple. It's the design. Hello everyone, Ren here, or Alias. And today I shall talk about a minor unsung hero of gaming. Character design. Now, character design, out of all the unsung heroes of gaming, is probably the most known. You know, the most popular of the unpopulars. Because there's also other unsung heroes, like Bad UI. Do you remember Modern Warfare 2 had the Hulu set up? It was really bad. Or original Destiny on the PlayStation. For some reason, you had to move the slow-ass cursor across the screen to interact with anything. Like, bad menus and bad UI, you don't really notice them until they're gone. Until you stumble upon a bad one, you know? Like bad chicken. You probably eat chicken all the time, but you don't really check the chicken you eat until you get salmonella. Now, Concord was a hero shooter. A market that is oversaturated in this day and age. But it was in development 8 years ago, you know, when the genre was flourishing. And these types of games, they live and die by design. Like, Concord had a shorter lifespan than President William Henry Harrison's presidency. Think about the biggest two hero shooters, Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch 2. Like, what do they have in common? They have 2 in the name. What else do they have in common? That Team Fortress 2, to this day, is recognizable. If you show any true gamer, I am a true gamer here, I'll prove it. You can recognize any model. It has a very colorful cast and they're very stylized. You can tell a lot of the character's personality and role based on their design. Like, Heavy, you can tell he's a big dude with a big gun, probably moves slow. Scout, you can tell he's a small dude. You know, he looks very skinny compared to Heavy, so you think, oh, he probably doesn't have a lot of health, but he's probably a lot faster. And then Doc, you can tell he's the Doc, because, you know, he has the robes and the gloves. It's Medic, not Doc. And that is fantastic, and now... But TF2 is an old game. A newer game is Overwatch 2. And even if you don't like Overwatch, like a lot of Steam people and a lot of people in general, you gotta admit, the art style is very good. Each character oozes personality. Some ooze more than other, but you know, to the bare minimum, they are very pleasing to look at. Like, you got Cowboy, Peaceful Robot, Angry Robot, Old Gristle Bed, and the best. You can tell these things based on looks alone, which is a very important thing on design. That's a problem with modern art. If you see a painting and it's just someone, and he just looks like a kid, like got a squirt gun and sprayed paint on the canvas, then the painting is shit. If you need to read the plaque to understand that it's supposed to represent something, that's just cope. The paint itself should make you feel something, not someone explaining. There shouldn't be someone explaining to you what you should feel about the painting. And now, you may say, well, Ren, those are art style choices, you know? They were trying to look cartoonish, like Zelda Wind Waker, or anime, like Zelda Breath of the Wild. This art style, this cel-shaded art style, tends to age better than realistic art style. Look at Wind Waker compared to Twilight Princess. Wind Waker's a lot more pleasing to look at than Twilight Princess, even though Twilight Princess is probably my third favorite Zelda. But not everything needs to be this cartoony style in order to be good. Now, they went for realism, like fantastical realism, like Guardians of the Galaxy, where you can tell it's aliens, but it's, you know, real people. So now let's see at a live service hero shooter with real people. Rainbow Six Siege. Siege grounds itself on being realistic, even though half of the new tech is basically nanomachines, son. And most characters just have tactical clothing. But you can still tell who's part of the same faction and how they can operate, basically. Like the Russian brothers, Tuchanka, Glass, Fuse, and Kapkan. They all come from this Pet's Nest, and they all look with similar uniform. They're clearly different from SAS, Mute, Smoke, Sledge, and the other one. And the models don't look ugly. Like, even though they look like real people and they were made long ago, they're still pretty pleasing to look at. Ubisoft has a lot of things wrong with their games. Personally, they're bloated for me. Like Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, and Mirage. They were bloated to hell. You could have cut half of the game content. But the character models tend to look good. Concord, for some reason, it looks like garbage to the eye. Simple as that. It feels like they could all play the same role if you just switch cosmetics. Like, I know, you might be thinking, why are you smoking? Of course they will look different. It looks like a looter shooter, basically. Everybody plays the same, and you just get cool armor to put on your person. It doesn't feel like all these people play different roles. It feels like they could all play the same role. Or at least very similar roles. Like, of course, the big girl and the goddamn trash can. They obviously look like tanks. That's decent enough design. But the full lineup of all the Conquer characters has less personality than the PFPs of Overwatch. I really think what hurt this design the most, it's the art style choice. I firmly believe that these characters would have looked way better in cell shading, like Breath of the Wild or No More Heroes. Like even the open septic tank that is Dustborn. The characters are very stylized. The art style does not look ugly. It's pleasing to look at least. It's just the writing that is mega cringe. Conquer, they really gimped themselves going for realistic. I would show fan art of the characters to show how good they would look on a 2D art style. But there isn't any fan art. You know a game is bad when there is no fan art. So here's the concept art. The character looks way better in this style with just simple outlines. I saw a Reddit comment that perfectly encapsulated the feeling. In the realistic style that they went, it looks like they're cheaply made cosplay and that they're playing with toys instead of guns. Now, there are people that say this game failed because of DEI. Another group of people say this game failed because of bigotry. We ignore these people. To quote Charlie, of the things that happen the least, this thing has happened the least the most. I don't think there has been a single game, like AAA big game, whose whole reason of failing has been things like bigotry or DEI. Like, these people are fighting the box ghost. And remember, internet people are not real people. Hell, I'm not a real person. A game ultimately fails when it's not entertaining. Concord was not entertaining. The pacing was really slow for a hero shooter. It also shot itself massively on the foot by not being free on launch. Or not even having the free weekend thingy that Call of Duty is doing at the moment. Like, why would you play this game? Why would you spend $40 to gamble on this game when you can play Overwatch or TF2 for free? And I just wanted to make this video to point out something. Looks do matter in a game. There is pretty privilege. That's a real thing. And games also have pretty privilege. But a game doesn't need to be pretty to be fun. This game was just not pretty and not fun. Well, that has been all. This has been Ren, or Alias. Bye bye.